My name is Josephine Dominguez, and I live in Vista, California. I grew up in Carlsbad. We just moved to Vista like 3 years ago. I've been doing genealogy for 5 years now, and I trace my family all the way back to the 1700s on both sides. I'm interested in doing it because I think ancestry is very important in history, and especially that, you know, I'm Latino from the United States. I got interested because I had a few uncles that I saw all the time. They were alcoholics, and I just want to know what my family was about. And as I started doing the research on my family, I discovered that they had very rich bonds here in the United States. They weren't just alcoholics; they were in wars. The American World War II. I had several uncles in those wars, and they made me very proud when I did the history, because they were engineers. They were they had pretty good, backgrounds, and it made me proud because I didn't know what they were, and I thought that they were that they weren't nothing until I did the research. My father's family was from Mexico. They're from Puebla, Mexico, and they came to New Mexico in the 1800s. And from New Mexico, they moved to Colorado, Walsenburg, and they had a great history. My great-great-grandfather was in the Civil War, and all his sons were also in the Civil War. They were offered land grants in Colorado. They all got Spanish land grants, and from what I understand is that they all knew how to play instruments. They worked in coal mines. My great-grandfather also, he died of lung cancer, and I think that's to do with the working in the coal mines. And they came to California in the 1940s, and my dad's real dad met my grandmother. Her name was Maria Jesusa Mendez, and she came from Silver Bell, Arizona, and that was also a mining town, which is now closed today. And she, her mother died giving birth to one of her siblings, and at the age of 10, her father died as well, and they were orphans, and they were raised by Antonia Padillo, and they were raised in Oceanside on Cleveland Street. This was my grandmother, and she changed her name to Jane Mendez, and she Americanized it as she came over to California. When my grandmother came to Oceanside, she went to the school called Americanization in Oceanside. They weren't allowed to speak Spanish in the classrooms, and I do remember her telling me growing up that if they spoke Spanish, that they would put donkey ears on their ears and stick them in the window and hit them with the paddle. They weren't allowed to speak Spanish in the classrooms. The Americanization school in Center Street has made it a full circle, because now they're promoting the Spanish language that they didn't allow them to speak back when she was growing up in Oceanside. As she got older, she moved to Carlsbad, and she had 5 kids, and she raised them all here all in Carlsbad. I had family members that were from Colorado that were known to be outlaws, and there are several stories and several books on my family, which would be the Felipa Espinosa story. And they were outlaws and bandits. There's also a museum with their story in Colorado. And they killed many Anglos because these soldiers came to their home one day wanting to eat asking for a meal. So the women made them a meal. The soldiers got the women and they tied them up and they raped the women. From this day on, the family members of Felipe Espinosa and his nephew Vivian Espinosa went on a rampage, killing many, like 32 Anglos, because they were angry of what they did to their family. And they sent many Confederate army after them, and the Confederate army could not get them. So finally they sent Tom Tobin, who was a mountain man, to capture them. And when he did capture them, he chopped off their heads and put their heads in potato sacks. And this story has been in my family for centuries. My great-great-grandfather, Felipe Espinosa, was not an outlaw, even though he was portrayed as an outlaw. He was just trying to get justice for his family, and I don't know if there was justice for their family in those days. The genealogy that I'm still doing has brought my family together. I meet somebody every year still to this day, and those are the people that always have the other side of the story, the other pieces of the story. And it's nice because I can match it together all the time when I meet them, and they have their story, I have mine, and we put them together and we have the whole family story. And it's exciting to do this because my family is very rich here in the United States, and I feel that we help make America, and Latinos are a big part of America since the Civil War and even before that. It's funny how family never ends. The families keep going from all sides, from the paternal to the maternal grandparents, and it just never ends. It's just a part of who I am today.